Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'll be honest with you. I had a conversation with somebody and said, "Can your friend be friends with your ex, your best friends, close friends?" Now, I'm gonna give you two-part perspective, right? My perspective, it all depends on what kind of friend you have. Because I've seen some friends, I've seen some people that are real treacherous. Period. Now, I get it. They got this bro code thing, right? Or this woman code. You know, you can't, if me and you friends, you can't talk to my ex, right? I'm gonna get into all that into this episode. But then I've seen some that you can talk to them, cool. I'm done. I'm out of the situation. I'm not with the person no more. So if you want to be with them, cool, do your thing. But what I do want to say is this thing could get, answer this question for yourself. Only you can answer this. Are you willing to lose connections with a friend to possibly find your soulmate?
Man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me out, bro.
Family, you guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires and AOS the podcast. I had to pause real fast to let you know that this episode is sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast. They post everything black. I mean, everything black, right? They post the drama, they post inspiration, they post motivation, everything black that you can get your talk on, if you will. Urban Pulse Podcast, they post about it. We're sponsored by Urban Pulse Podcast, the true essence of everything black. I love them guys to life. What's going on, family? You guys are so amazing. It's your boy, Mr. AOS Inspires. This is AOS the podcast. I'm excited about this episode. You already see the thumbnail. You already see the title. I want to dive deep into this thing because now I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you a two-part perspective, right? Whatever perspective that you're on is cool in the game. I want to look at two conversations because me and a group of friends, we were having a conversation. And I'm going to be quite honest with you, man. When you really begin to break this thing down and look at the nuances, I'm going to be honest with you. What's the problem? What is the problem? Now, I'm going to tell you this. I do want to share this. I want to put this out there before we even get started. If you have a situation, you already know the topic is, can my friend and my ex be friends, right? Can your friend be friends with your ex? However you want to put it, however you want to word it. Now, I say this, you need to know your friends. Not only do you need to know your friends, you need to know you. That's the biggest part. Know you. Like, would you, and then, I hate this. Let me put this is the top. This is the tier top. Voice your feelings and I don't care. If you care, say you care. If you got an issue with it, I'm talking to both sides of the spectrum, right? There's a good side and there's a horrible side and there's just the in-between side. If you know that you have issues with your friend being friends with your ex, make it known. And I'm gonna tell you this, I love it. My best friend, we talked about it, right? But if this so-called friend, right, does not respect your wishes and continue to talk to the person anyway, they not your friend. Forget bro code, forget woman code, whatever, forget all that. That goes out the window. Let me share this. This is what my best friend was saying, right? This is what he said, and I agree with this. If I had my ex, right, do I have a problem with him? No, I don't. Not at all. Why? Because that chapter is done and I'm not going to revisit that chapter. Now, if I was going to revisit that chapter of my ex, it depends on what kind of friendship it was. That's being honest, right? Now, I do want to talk about this too. I wish I had somebody on this episode so we can dialogue. I need y'all to dialogue in the comments, right? How do y'all feel about, because I know bro code and women code says the same thing. You can date my ex, right? Let alone we're talking about being friends, but dating them, like being in a relationship, possibly getting married, has it happened? Absolutely. Do I know any cases? I don't, but I'm pretty sure it has happened, right? So I want to know from you guys, and I wish I had some more people on this podcast today, but maybe I'll bring it up for another topic. Another episode with some guests. Is there an issue, right, with you dating your friend's ex? Now, me personally, this is just me. And it's not because of sexual experiences. I just don't feel comfortable. I'm gonna give you two parts. I don't feel comfortable dating or even, trying to get to know or messing around with one of my friend's exes. I just don't. I feel like there's a sense of loyalty to me, right? My loyalty is with my friend, not the ex, because I didn't have a relationship with the ex, right? That's me. That's the first part. The second part is I cannot mess with somebody that I know one of my friends mess with, had sex with, trying to build. I'm cool. I'm good. Even if they died, I'm cool. Right? That's just me. Right? Because this is how I look at it. If you would date my ex, this means a strong possibility that you had eyes for them when we were together. Listen, don't stone me. This is how I feel. Right? So that's just how I feel about it. Like I said, I was talking to my best friend, and what he said was, now, we have a relationship in my marriage where my best friend, we cool. We cool, right? So, I invited my wife on, so we talk on the phone, and we have in-depth conversations, podcasts, business, food. I mean, everything. Like we have just built a bond, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of y'all don't know, but I'm silly. I love joking. I love laughing. I love comedy. And what's crazy is my wife loves comedy. My best friend loves comedy, right? So that's one of the connections that brought us together. I remember in high school, this is no lie, a lot of my teachers would say, if you don't make it this, I'm dating myself, BET Comic View, how did it go? Comic View on BET, coming at you 6 nights a week, get your laugh on. Hey, if you want to get your laugh on, yeah. Y'all remember that? All right, cool. They was like, yo, if you don't make it on BT Comic View, something went wrong. But it was a different plan. God had a different plan for my life, right? So that wasn't in my spectrum. But comedy was the forefront of my life. I love laughing. I love joking people. And it wasn't like I wasn't a malicious joker, but sometimes it did get there. I remember one time this dude jumped me. He's doing 30 years in jail, not for jumping me, but his life that he lived. Him and another dude jumped me. I want to share with everybody that got jumped before. You wear it as a badge of honor. You needed somebody else to come and get me, right? I got jumped, right? My mouth got me jumped, right? It's all cool in the gang. I used to joke to the degree where people, they would laugh, but, sometimes I go overboard. Like, listen, your foot messed up. Like, I would go above me, but that's besides the point. But I'm getting off track. My wife and my best friend and myself, we talk on the phone, right? We have built a good relationship. The question came up. Can your ex be friends with, and me and my wife, we have no plans of breaking up. That's real. But that question did come up. Now, my best friend, he said something so great that I think that everybody should value. This is what he said. He said, I would have a conversation with me first. He was saying he have a conversation with me first to see, is it okay if I remain in conversation with her? What's going on, family? I know that you're enjoying the episode, but I had to pause to ask you a quick question. Have you ever been through anything in life that was so life-altering that it changed your life forever? I mean, have you ever been and had a job and you lost that job? I mean, your dream job. You lost that job for whatever reason. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. You started a business and the business started off great and then it seemed as if it was going downhill. And now you're at a place, you lost your marriage, you lost your children, you lost some major things in your life. And now you're at a place in life where you're like, hey, this is the end of the road. I don't see it getting better. I got news for you. It will get better. And I wrote a book just for you. It's entitled Winning After a Major Loss. You need to go and get your copy. Go to barnesandnoble.com, go to amazon.com, get your copy right now, Winning After a Major Loss. I promise you, it's going to change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your mindset. Most importantly, it's going to change your heart about your situation, because I promise you, you can win after a major loss. Go get your copy now. Barnes & Noble's, amazon.com. Order your copy now. Let's get back to the episode. Would you feel a certain type? That's why I started off in the beginning and said, listen, let your feelings be made known. If you're cool with it, be cool with it. If you're not, let it be known that you're not cool with it. So that's what he asked me. He said, I would talk to him first. And if he cool with it, I'll check on you from time to time. But what will we talk about? That's the biggest portion. He brought up a great point. What would we talk about? Because the main focus is about the conversation that we have now is about comedy, food, business, and podcasting, right? I mean, the dynamics, because I'm the one who initiated the group, right? The dynamics of the conversation is always not saying I'm the spotlight, but it's always surrounded around me. Either I'm the butt of the joke, either I'm the butt of about talking about the business, podcast. I mean, just a lot of stuff, right? And he asked that question, what will we talk about? So, and it made me think about you guys when we had that conversation, because I guarantee there's somebody that's going through it right now. Your friend is still talking to your ex as if y'all still cool or as if they're really tight. And you got an issue with that. You're not saying nothing. Let it be. I hate it when people have an issue with something and they don't want to be, I don't want to sound soft. Sound soft. I don't like it. Nah, I don't. And if they don't respect your feelings, they're not your friend. You can't stop them from talking. If they talk, they just talk. But what you do after that is solely up to you. Sounds like I need to start cutting some people off. Right? If my friend, this is how I feel. If like for my for instance, my best friend, if me and my wife was to split up, we're not. If we got divorced, we're not. But if we did, and I told him, listen, I don't feel comfortable with you still. I don't like it. Don't talk to her. Right? You my friend. I mean, you her friend too, but you're my friend first. Right? Being childish. But that's for real. That's how I feel. You're my friend first. She's secondary. And he still talks to her, guess what? I'm cutting her off. You can talk to her. But I think that, like, he brought up a great point. What will we talk about? Right? What, you gonna talk about your new relationship? How can you talk about your new relationship and my best friend? Come on. So those are the fine lines between people that stay in communication with people's exes. I tell people all the time, be mindful of that. Be very mindful, because like he brought up a great point. I believe, and especially in that type of scenario, lines would get blurred and crossed, right? You'll say some stuff, even if the person has moved on from them, from their ex. They moved on. I don't care. The lines will get blurred. It will get, every single time. It would get blurred. I love what Steve Harvey said, because he was being real about it. He said this: can men and women be friends? He said no. Now, to a degree, I believe that men and women can be friends. However, I understand a man's nature. If that woman opens the door and she's persistent, some men will stop it. But a lot of men, I'm not saying every man, let's get that clear. I'm not saying every man, and I'm not saying everybody will open that door or every man will walk through the door, but a big percentage of men will walk, especially if she's attractive. I don't care how you try to chop that up. If she's attractive and she opens that door, there's a great chance that he's going to walk through that door too. I promise you. I promise you. Right? Especially if she's vulnerable, lonely, or in need of something. Like, I see what's going on with P. Diddy's situation. Right? One thing I don't want to misquote it, but I believe that I heard him say that somebody said that he said, there's nothing like a man that needs money. And it goes the same with women. When somebody is in need of something, I'm not just going to say money, but they're in need of something, most people will do anything to get what they need. Not what they want, what they need. So, to answer on both sides, do I believe that your friends can be friends with your ex with boundaries? Yes. Can it work? Yes. Because, as a matter of fact, my wife and, we have a group chat. We text every single day, all day long. Like I said, comedy, business, food, podcast, everything, trips. Like we're friends. However, I believe that it has to be boundaries. No, I won't cross these boundaries. These are our boundaries. And I think that a lot of people that get into scenarios like that, and this is the crazy part, he has a woman as well. right? We cool, but it's not as to the level like we are, So I mean, it's just as long as people respect boundaries, I don't find no issue with it. Now let's look on the other side. Yes, some people will find issue with that, and it's not about insecurities. It's not about insecurities. It's not about trust. But however, lines can get crossed because this is the biggest portion that a lot of people don't discuss. When we are friends, I know a big portion of your likes and dislikes. And another thing, when you become close friends, they understand, or they know, watch this, they know about the problems that you have in your house. This is why it's so very important to make sure when you share information with people that they are trusted, that this person can be really trusted. And sometimes you got to vet that out. I'm just being honest. I'm just being all the way honest, right? Everybody can't be trusted. This is a good topic. Everybody can't be trusted because this is the thing. This is what I've discovered in my 40 years of living. People will take information that you share with them and sometimes manipulate it and flip it to a degree that it works in their favor, because inspiration and manipulation is a fine line between the two, and it's very, very similar, but it's a fine line of a difference of it. So when she knows the inadequacies of your relationship, she can speak to those inadequacies when she's talking to you one-on-one. Like for a prime example, if I didn't trust my best friend, I would never put him on the phone with my wife. Never. And I believe that too many of y'all are trusting people that you haven't vetted out. That's a fact. So to answer this podcast, in my own opinion, can your friend be friends with your ex? I want to say, for my case, yes. You got to vet people out though. Now, I'm going to tell you, they're not my friends, but they're people that I know, that I used to go to school with, that I used to hang with. Can they be friends with my wife, or can they be? No, absolutely not, because they're going to cross the lines. And when they see an open door, man, this is the thing too. You may have an ex, right? And you may have in your mindset that I'm not, well, let me say this first. You may have in your mind that I'm not going back to this person, but there's always a chance that you might, right? And now you have invited your friend to be friends with your ex. Some of y'all gonna say it's petty. Some of y'all gonna say it's immature. Some of y'all gonna say it's insecurities. You say what you want to say. Everybody has feelings, and you have to respect those feelings. However, you may say, I want to revisit this relationship. Now, you don't let your friend in. They have the upper hand, right? They have the upper hand. They know everything about your person, and they can speak. Will it work? It might for a while, but eventually the real them is going to come out. Now, I've seen a situation where they weren't friends, but they were cool, and this guy had a child with this woman, but everybody, the two guys were cool. They weren't friends. They weren't like, hey, I'm gonna come pick you up today. It wasn't like that, but they would be in the same place together oftentimes because they shared a group, a circle of friends. What happened was he broke up with the woman. They had a child together, and now this guy that ran in the circle got with her, and they got married, right? I don't know how, are they good friends? The two guys, are they friends? I don't know. But instances like that, that's what I'm saying. As long as you set the boundaries, right? So in my opinion, in my situation, I can only speak for me. Can it work? Yes. Because I invite a person that I don't trust into my circle. But I just wanted to bring this conversation up. I wanted to make this episode because I think that it was a great topic that we talked about. Can your friends be friends with your ex? Yes, I believe it. It can work. But you got to vet the person out thoroughly, right? I mean, I've been best friends with this guy for 20 years, right? I trust this guy. That's my best friend. I trust him. Right, he may watch this whole episode. If you do, what up, Dre? My guy. But I trust him, and I would leave $1 million in the house And I'd be like, I'll be right back. All my money gonna still be there. Same with my wife. I feel, I believe that this go round, I did a good job at vetting people out. I'm 40 years old. I have a pretty decent discernment, right? I can vet people out really well to a degree. I ain't perfect, but I'm pretty spot on sometimes. So to answer that question, yes. But let me let's talk about it on the flip side. Just a quick second. I'm out of time, but I want to talk about it on the flip side in a quick second. When there's no boundary set, right? Because the truth of the matter is, you can have a friendship and you guys become comfortable and things begin to get said. And when things begin to get said and lines begin to get crossed and understandings is not made, then you run into an issue. Many of you are just so gun-ho into having friends or to having a community that you don't vet out the community that you try to build first. And you trust them way too soon, or you trust them with too much, right? Like, for example, I told my best friend he was supposed to come out and visit, and he didn't, because it was a long trip. But I'm like, yo, you can spend the night. That's my guy, right? His family can come and spend the night. I have no reservations. I will leave the house, and he's home with my family, and I'm cool. Why? Because I vetted this guy out. But I made this episode because it's a great conversation piece, but also I wanted to share with some people, you need to make sure that the people that you invite into your circle, that you vet them out, right? Make sure that they're trustworthy. Too many of y'all are trusting people that you shouldn't be trusting. And I'm like, yo, you didn't see this coming? Like, they showed you signs in the beginning and you still allow it to happen. So my answer is yes. Can your friend be friends with your ex? My answer is yes, but I do want you to vet this thing out.